Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to all our viewers out there. You're all welcome to another day broadcast by Minister Karoba Balola. What can I say? I just want to say thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. And thank you to the Lord God Most High for another beautiful, blessed day, for counting us worthy to be among the living. It can only be Christ. I just want to say, be thou exalted. You saw what happened. We started this Black History Month since Wednesday. It's been absolutely beautiful. We did some cooking from Nigeria, Ghana yesterday. It was beautiful. If you missed out of that, please just go back to our YouTube channel and watch that. It's excellent. We're trying to, kind of talk about culture and food. We identify ourselves with the food we eat. So it's all about Black History Month. It's all about us. It's about our color. It's about our achievements. It's about our contribution to the society. And one thing I just want you to know, that most people have gone before us, that made a way for us, that made things easier for us today. So we just want to celebrate those people. We want to celebrate ourselves. We want to celebrate the present people that are, making a difference in the community and in the whole world. We just want to say we are grateful. I'm Black, I'm beautiful, and I'm very proud to be Black, and that doesn't mean that I'm not part of where I am. Yes, I love the values of where I live. I live in United Kingdom, and I appreciate them. Because of they love diversity. We all love diversity. We want to be who we are still while you are in a environment, the culture you are. You just, kind of know who you are. That's what it's all about. And to tell us more about Black History Month, this woman, I love her. She's my sister, and whenever I call her, she's just there to just support me. She's always there for me. I really appreciate you, sis. God bless you. But today she's going to talk about Black History Month. She's really into it. She's a community leader. She's a politician. She's a pastor. Believe me, she's an ambassador for Liberty. What's it called? RCCG, Liberty, ambassador for Liberty. Sorry about that. I beg my pardon. She's a very active politician who is active in the UK in Conservative Party. She's a chairperson of PAW Africa, founder of the Next Generation, social entrepreneur, project manager, consultant. She's an author. She's a community leader. She's a coach. She's a motivator and advocate for youth development. Wow, she wears a lot of different hats, and she works very closely with Basildon Council in Essex. Please help me to welcome Mrs. Yetunde, or Pastor Yetunde Adeshile. Thank you very much, sis.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. And as they say, happy Black History Month. My name is Pastor Yetunde Adeshile, and I'm fortunate to be the pastor of RCCG Ambassadors for Liberty here in Basildon. And I wear many hats, and I love all the hats that I wear. I'm the CEO and founder of the Next Chosen Generation. I've set up other companies like Poor Africa UK. I work with diverse organizations in different roles. And as a Black woman, Black History Month became very important to me in the sense that I could see a lot of things moving. I could see a necessary shift. I could see so many things that we can actually be present and make impact and make change. And what really inspires me, so apart from being a pastor, so I was a community champion before I became a pastor. And to be quite honest with you, to be a pastor, I just thought it was not needed for me to be a pastor because I was so active in the community. I already wore so many hats. I work with young people. We started off with age 11 to 19. Then we said that, started off with 13 to 19, then moved to 19 to 11 to 19. Then now we are now 8 to 25 because those are the crucial years that these children need our support. And to be quite honest with you, it was through working with young people that I came to the realization that actually the in schools, this is one of the things that bothers young people the most, is that Black history is not actually discussed in schools. And I remember when I was growing up, there was really nothing much about Black history. I mean, to be quite honest with you, something like Windrush, that blew up in the UK, about, the Windrush generation blew up in the UK about 2 years ago. Phenomenal story. When I looked into it, I thought, my goodness, this kind of stuff needs to be in history lessons. That's why people forget. That's why, that's why we don't celebrate. That's why we don't believe that there's something for us to look forward to. So when I first started celebrating Black History Month, I'm the Black History Month champion for Basildon in Essex. When I first started, even when I was going up to Black people, they were like, what are you doing? They don't understand. They didn't know the history of Black people. And I just thought it's shameful that we as Black people, we've been given this privilege, this honor to have the whole month of October to celebrate ourselves, bring our culture to light, look at the history. What have we contributed in the past? So Black history for a lot of us in the UK was about slavery. But that changed. So yes, there were Black people that came to this country as slaves, no doubt without that. And actually, that's really one of the main reasons why Black people suffer what they suffer. So like this year, we've had things like, so Windrush is going on quick, Black History Month, Black Life Matters, so questions started coming out. People started coming out with their feelings, things they could never say before. And if only, I would say, if only we can all come out and just, one, recognize that you are Black, two, recognize that you are Black in a foreign country, and three, you haven't been given the privilege. God has given us the privilege to be in the UK. For a lot of us, being in the UK is a better place for us to be than being back home wherever we come from. And I'm not just saying that because I'm from Nigeria or whatever. So sometimes it's not really about the country. Sometimes it's actually about your own personal experience in the country, with your families, with your with your schools, with the education system, with employment. Some of us have come here for greener pastures, and we've got to remember that that's why we came to the UK. So over the years, when equality started easing up, when they stopped slavery, so the Windrush generation, actually, I found out when I was reading up about them, they were brought to England to help fight the war. They weren't the first ones. But when they came, and it was only this year that I found out that they were on the invitation of the Queen. The Queen invited them to come to the UK and help them fight the war. Now, those people responded. They came, they responded. Like, as always, some people went back and some people decided to stay. And in staying, some people just wanted to continue treating them like slaves. If you would have it known, we've had, so we had a Black History Month quiz at work the other day, and they were talking about the first Black scientist, what they did, the first Black teacher, what they did, the first Black nurse, what they did, the first Black doctor, the doctor that created and invented. So history has already been made. We can look back and look at history. There's history there for our children to look at and say, a lot of our children, this is where Black History Month came to light for me. A lot of our children, they don't have a sense of direction. Why? Because they don't really know where they fit. Even when they grow up, some of them believe that they are subjected to their white counterparts. I don't know why. It's almost like a natural thing. So when you do Black history, you let them know that, listen, not everybody came to the UK as a slave. Yes, there was a time that we were slaves as Black people, but that time has moved on. We are inventors, we are creators, we are presenters. We have I've forgotten his name. He was the first black presenter, and he's still there. He's still there. When you see people like that, you have people you can look up to. And then when you see politicians that are black, so I have one of my aunties. She's actually from Nigeria. She's a counselor. And I think she always tells her story that when she first came to this country, they said she was never going to make it because she had an accent. And then, somebody that has an accent, an African accent, becomes a counselor, not only becomes a counselor, but becomes the mayor. So it's just like, her story is just like, there's nothing holding you back. And that's why it is important for us to celebrate Black History Month. A lot of people have made history. A lot of people are still making history, and a lot of people are yet to make history. And it's the forerunners for those of us that are making history now, making impact. So a lot of people look at me and they say, oh gosh, you do so many things. I do all the things that I believe there's a gap in. I don't do it in an arrogant way. I don't do it in an offensive way, because I believe we have to do it the right way. We want people's buy-in into us that we are good, and we are creative, and we are, we are worthy to be counted as those that are winning, if you know what I mean. So if we are those kind of people, we have to demonstrate that we are also genuine. We are also genuine. We are genuine people. We are, so there's authenticity, there's building trust, there's building, without a doubt, without a shadow of doubt, to be quite honest with you, some of the reasons why we as Black people struggle in this country is because of those who have made bad history. So there are good history makers, but like every nationality, there's the good and there's the bad. So being Black is no different. I use Black History Month in Basildon to promote those who are upcoming in the community. Not necessarily community activists. You won't get a lot of community activists that are constantly in the community all the time. You won't get many Black people like that. Although in Basildon it's becoming very healthy now. So I thank God for that. But what you will get is those that are making impact, but they're making it in their own subtle way behind the scenes. They're making it in their own subtle ways behind the scenes. And these people, when I see them, I'm like, no, you can't stay there. You need to come into the limelight, because people need to know what you are able to achieve. People need to be able to know what you are able to achieve. So I just want to appreciate my sister, Minister Carol Bola, because what she's doing is amazing. It takes bravery. I was talking to her. She said, oh, we were talking about Black history. I don't know if it was last year or earlier on this year. And I said, if nobody's doing it in your area, for goodness sake, pick it up. You tell some people pick it up and they don't. But she has picked it up, and I'm proud that she has, because there's so much history. There's so much for us to learn from. There's so much that if only we knew, we would be so much better off. It builds our confidence. When you look at Black history, you cannot forget that you're a Black person. Yes, some Black people have come, they've made bad, negative records. And when people see you, they try to treat you the way the other people have gone about doing things. You can say your own story is different. Write your own story. Write your own story. What is your own story? Your own story is, this is me. I'm a creator. This is what I want to be known for. So what I always say to Black people is, look, you're in a foreign country. You've got privileges. You've got all these things, facilities. You've got opportunities, all are lined up for you. It's how do you use those things? How do they align up for your own good? How do they align up so that you know that God is really on your side? It's an amazing thing. It's a thing that at the end of the day, it's a question you need to ask yourself. Do you want to be a contributor Do you want to be known for a positive thing? So we've got black footballers, black athletes, everybody representing Britain. It's all about equal opportunities, or rather it should be about equal opportunities. Unfortunately, and I have to say, and it's really sad for me to say, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in equal opportunities. They don't believe that black people should have certain opportunities. So I can tell you that, for example, when I first went into politics and I did my first campaign, some people will see me. So white people will see me and they're thinking, what are you doing with the Conservative Party? You're in the wrong party. And you can tell it in the face. They literally don't have to say anything. And I've had like historical conservative members that refuse to vote for me because I'm black. But that's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's your prerogative who you vote for, why you vote for them. It's your choice, And to me, I kind of like felt maybe if I could prove myself to my community, maybe I can get closer. Then I had the black people. They wouldn't vote for me because they felt that I was a traitor. And they said, every black person, every babe goes to the Labour Party. I was like, well, not this one. Not this one, so it's been an interesting journey for me. But Black History Month is one of the most crucial things that we need to consistently be celebrating in the UK. And one of it is that definitely because it's not even discussed in schools, for starters. So our children do not know. They cannot know unless we teach them. And even the Bible tells us that. I can't remember the Bible passage, but when we pray for children, the Bible says, pass on the baton to your children's children so that they can pass it on to their own children, so that they can pass it on. So part of what we are passing on is not just our culture, is the history of our being, of our making in the UK. And if we don't know the history, how can we pass the history on? And if we don't pass the history on, it's going to be, so one of the things we were discussing during the Black History Month in Basildon, when we're talking about hate crime, is like, it's almost like a full cycle that we've gone through. When I was young, racism was always there. I felt that it was getting better. Obviously, it isn't. And the things that our young people are experiencing now is still the same as what they experienced then, that we were going through then. So it's like we can't stop. We have to continue talking about history. We have to continue celebrating history. We have to continue showing our young children what they are capable of achieving on their own. And it doesn't matter the color of their skin. I'm not saying that, when it comes to job opportunities, that they should choose a black person over a white person because they have to make the equation balance in the company. What I'm saying is, you as a black person, be good enough for them to say without the shadow of the doubt, you are the best. If they're going to select anybody, you are the best. So I always have this thing that I say to myself, I want to be the best. I want to be the best in everything I do. So everybody's like, oh, you work with passion, you work with this. And I say, yes, because I want to be the best. Sometimes my daughter will say, Mom, you're so competitive. I said, it's not about competition. I'm in competition with myself. And a lot of us, simply, that's what we need to be in competition with yourself. So if today you can run 10 miles, tomorrow, maybe you'll push yourself for 11 miles. Maybe tomorrow you push yourself for 12 miles. Maybe you push yourself for 15 miles. And before you know it, that's your own personal best. It's all about, they used to call this thing in school, your personal best. You beat your personal best. So we'll go to competitions and I'll come second. And everybody wanted me to become first. And I came second. And my coach would say, don't worry about it. You're fine. You're doing great. Look at the score. You actually beat your personal best. You understand what I'm saying? So it's always about your personal best. You as a black person, be a history maker yourself. There's so many areas that we can make history in this country. You can create, you can invent, you can even take the baton and shine the light brighter than it was shown before. So there's so many things that we can do. We don't need to get ourselves into unnecessary trouble. We don't need to get ourselves into riots and things like that. All we need to do is just be good. Be good, be focused, and be energetic. So, Minister Carol Bola, thank you so much for the opportunity to come and talk about Black History Month today. I think I've rabbited on a bit. I think that's what you wanted. I wasn't sure, but that's what I've been able to do. But I want to say well done for picking up the baton in Havering, because one of our ministers, Reverend Dolly, picked it up for Doncaster. We've just got to keep it going. There's nothing, and unless God picks up people like us to say, look, we got to fly this flag. Barking and Dagenham, they're doing phenomenally well. Yeah. Basildon, I think we've nailed it now after this year. So Havering, you're coming up, it's new, it's great. Years to come, you'll look back and you'll be so grateful that you did it, because it's not, but don't forget to bring the young people into it. Very important, because when we as adults are not there, it's the younger ones that will pick up the baton and run with it. So it's not a joke, it's not a laughing matter. It's actually something I take very seriously, that, okay, if you can't, if the UK has said, you have a whole month to do Black History, and we know that after that is not actually discussed anywhere or anywhere, you have to make the most of it. You have to maximize it. So that's what it's all about for me.
Thank you very much, sis, Pastor Yetunde Adeshile. That's just it was beautiful, beautiful. I picked some points from what you just said. You said, be a history maker yourself.
Absolutely.
Be a history maker yourself. History should be taught in schools, and Black History Month must be celebrated. We've been given opportunity to do it, and we have to celebrate it. You say, put the baton of history to our children. We should transfer it to our children.
Absolutely.
Very, very, very necessary. You just said, thank you. We appreciate you for this. God bless you. I hope you're going to hold on. I'm going to introduce.
Yeah, I'm still with you. I'm still with you.
With us. Okay. I'll just put all the, the speakers on, and then I'll introduce them individually. Just a minute, please. Good morning, Councillor Sanchez.
Can't hear you, Councillor Sanchez.
Good morning.
Hi.
Beautiful.
Good morning. Good to see you, Minister Carol.
Wow.
Good to see Pastor Yetunde.
You have a day today.
Councillor Sanchez, welcome.
Did you hear me?
Sorry, Minister Carol.
Are you going for a date? You're looking so beautiful.
It's amazing.
Well,
God has done you justice.
He's shining upon me, so I have to receive it with gladness.
Yeah. So I just want to bring the other speaker on, please. Hello, Mr. Ayo Benson. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I am actually inspired to be in the midst of these great people. We should be very proud to be a part of this initiative. I just want to thank you, Carol, for the great work you're doing in the community. I am inspired by your work, and I share the same value. It's important that we set good examples for the coming generations. Nobody's gonna give us anything. We've got to go out there, work hard, make the most of any opportunities available to us. And that's what I've been preaching. That's why, I've been running seminars, webinars to educate people. You don't have to wait for someone to hand you opportunities. You've got to go out there and take it. There are so many opportunities in the world today. I know my session hasn't started, so don't let me take up.
Yes, please.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. The next speaker is going to be Councillor Sanchez Alashe. Just a minute, I have to introduce you, and I want to focus on her, if you don't mind, and I'll bring you guys back again, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hello, Councillor Sanchez. Honestly, I just look, you are glowing. That's the glory of God. Honestly.
The glory of God. I can't attribute it to anything else.
Oh my God, you're looking so beautiful. Glory be to God. This is my sister, Councillor Sanchez. She's a former mayor of Barking and Dagenham. She's an award-winning specialist in equality and diversity and human resources. she's another woman with many hearts. I want her to introduce herself. You know, I can't do justice to it. She will do it to herself. Please introduce who you are to us.
Yes, thank you, Minister Carol, and thank you for running these events during the last day of Black History Month, which is actually today. As you have said, I've been a Labour councillor in the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham for 10 years now. This is my 10th year, so I give thanks to God for that. I've held various roles. I've chaired the Health Scrutiny Committee, and I've also chaired the Planning Committee, and I was the Mayor from May 2008 until May last year. Also professionally, I'm a specialist in European Union affairs, diversity and human resources, and presently I'm working as the Head of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion at London South Bank University. So those are the main things that I'm doing at the moment.
Thank you very much. This is a woman having an impact, impacting lives in the community. Despite your color, you are moving and you are moving, you are moving. And you're a very good example to the younger ones out there. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much. God will continue to lift you up in Jesus' name. Today, you're going to talk about Windrush. The floor is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that introduction. Yes, I mean, I am a granddaughter, I should say, of the Windrush generation who came to this country. The first arrivals docked on the 22nd of June in 1948 in Thurrock, in Essex, in Tilbury. So not too far from where anyone of us are. And my grandfather didn't come on that particular first boat, but he came on a later service, and he came here with my grandmother and worked here and helped to rebuild this country after the Second World War, which obviously needed a lot of help. The UK actually put out a call to many Caribbean islands and asked people to come here and work here and help to rebuild this country. So a key feature of Black British history is the Windrush generation, and their story is really important. Many people from Caribbean islands, including the island in which I was born, Jamaica, came here seeking new opportunities in jobs that were absolutely pivotal to reforming this country, and the legacy of which we still see today. They worked in a variety of areas, in the production of steel, coal and iron, in agriculture, public transport, armed forces and the National Health Service. However, when the Windrush generation arrived, they faced hostility and overt racism. So they had to see signs, for example, saying no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. And they often lived in substandard accommodation. Many of them did get jobs, but many of them faced hardships as well. So if we think about teachers, and we know that education is really important, the teachers that came over from the Caribbean did not have their Caribbean qualifications recognized. So when they brought their letters of recommendation and their qualifications, they were belittled and they were made to feel as if they were worth nothing. And decades later, we saw what happened with the Windrush scandal, which meant that many employers and landlords now had to check passports before allowing employment to commence, to start or continue. And many from the Windrush generation were either wrongly deported or stopped from working for many years before the Guardian newspaper, after long investigations, were able to get some traction on their stories, which then raised the issue nationally, resulting in an apology from the government as well as a review. However, this came too late for some. Many of the prominent campaigners who were affected by these wrongful deportations and treatment have died. We saw over the last month one of the campaigners who lived in the West Midlands, Paulette Wilson from Wolverhampton, where my mum lives, sadly died. And we had someone right here in my constituency, Dagenham, Sarah O'Connor, And I, as the mayor at the time, managed to speak to her, and I actually presided over her citizenship ceremony, because she eventually was granted full British citizenship. However, sadly, a couple of months after she gained that, she died of hypertension. So that was really sad. And many families still now await compensation and acceptable settlements. So the stories of the Windrush generation, and many of them are still our living pioneers, really need to be told, so that everybody across the UK is aware of the key role that they played in building and shaping this country, not just after the Second World War and with the arrival of the Empire Windrush, but they still make contributions, many useful and long-lasting contributions in this society today and for many years to come.
Thank you very much, sis. You're most welcome. That's the story of the Windrush. You know, they've, according to our sister, I said they were invited here.
Absolutely.
Some of them were able to, go back. Unfortunately, those who were left behind were treated as if they're still slaves. You know, I mean, they have tried. They came to make a way for us. Yeah, because of us. Unfortunately, that's life. Some people have to go, go up there to make a way. They will suffer. They will do all kinds of things. But now we're enjoying the benefits of what they have done. Like Rosa Parks. She was so brave. She was so brave to say no to racism, No, I'm a human like you. And that's what every one of us, we're all doing. We're making ways for younger people to know that it's possible to, to get there. If you try, you work hard, you are determined, you are, disciplined. We're going to talk that. It doesn't matter your skin color. Just work hard. Work hard.
So it comes with friendship. So it's really interesting to learn that you're a Windrush generation. And if I'd known, I would have hijacked you last week Friday, because we did. I'm going to send you the link. It's in the Voice newspaper. We celebrated the Windrush history, because we couldn't do it in June because of the pandemic. So basically, we did it last week Friday. Come rain, come shine. We were there, and we had a flotilla. And we invited who we knew of the Windrush generation. So next year you'll be with us, because we linked, and I actually told them, I said we've linked Basildon to Tilbury because it's so close. And of course, the two people that were organizing it make the link. So we started the celebration or the event in Basildon, and then we went to Tilbury for the flotilla. So next year, I'll definitely be engaging you on that one.
No, absolutely, and obviously Dagenham is not that far from.
No, it's not.
The Labour Party often teams us up with Thurrock to do campaigning, and I think it's really important, as I say, that we celebrate the legacy. But myself, as a granddaughter of the Windrush generation, also continue to make an impact and leave those legacies. So one of the things that I did when I was the mayor was I instituted the Windrush Day at Barking and Dagenham Council, and so from June, 22nd of June 2018, every year we raise the Windrush flag. We purchase the Windrush flag and we raise it on the poles of the Barking Town Hall every Windrush Day. Obviously, this year we raised it, but we couldn't have a physical ceremony, so we did a YouTube video to highlight. But normally we always have, an event where we have poetry, we have speakers, we have lots of food, and so hopefully in June next year we may be able to do something like that.
I think we'll bring you into the big one. It's happening in Thurrock. And I said to them, there must be somebody in Barking and Dagenham we can put into this, because the Windrush generation we actually got. There was one grandchild like yourself, but she was based in Southend. And then there was, we had a second, three generations of Windrush also there, but they came all the way from Southeast London.
Wow.
Like Croydon and all that. So yeah, so if we can get Croydon in it, I'm sure we can do Barking and that. But the big event will be in Thurrock. It will be held in Thurrock. So I'll let you know.
Thank you very much, ladies. That's a nice one. We can match. I'm the first to invite the third generation with Rush. You're welcome. I mean, another thing that while you were talking, I was just thinking, you know, people in your shoe or people like you thought some of them will be kind of, well, which word can I use now? We kind of be pitying party themselves, thinking that, oh, you know, my grandparents were, you know, slave, or they mistreated them. They will use the opportunity not to develop themselves to be where you are now. Can you please talk to them? That there's every opportunity to forget the past and look forward to the future.
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, when the original Windrush generation came to this country in 1948, they first, you know, they faced many hardships. They faced overt racism, and there is still a lot of hidden racism that we face today. Yeah. I think it's important for us to know our past, because knowing our past informs our future. Yeah. And there will be legacies that maybe will affect us, but I think we do have to strive and push forward. And I think this year, 2020, when 2020, a lot of people are saying they want this year to be forgotten and they want to move into 2021 as quickly as possible. And we're almost there now, so there's not that much longer to wait. But actually, despite everything that's happened with the pandemic and with people dying from COVID, actually 2020 has been quite a pivotal year for race relations. And I think we as Black people need to capitalize on that. I know certainly the company where I work, London South Blackburn University, and the council have done much more work around Black history this year compared to any other years. They've really taken the time to listen to Black people and find out their experiences, and are really committed, I think, into making real change. So not just talking, but I think there's a lot of organizations this year that are actually prepared to make that change. And if they are prepared to make that change, we need to help them to make that change. We need to shape that change and be the change that we want to see. So I think actually this is a really pivotal year. And let's really work together as a Black community across London, across the UK, to make sure that we do see real systemic, effective change where we can climb up that career ladder. We can get those executive positions. It's not that we don't have the qualifications. It's not that we don't have the experience. We are out there. There are plenty of Black, both young and old, talented people. Yesterday, I was at a conference, the Black Young Professional Conference. I think they had about 2,000 people registered, all Black professionals looking to make a contribution to our society. So we are there. We just haven't been given the opportunities. And now is our time to seize those opportunities and for society to give us those opportunities and allow us to shine and make our contribution.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for that. Now is our time to shine. Absolutely. The opportunities are there for us, you know, to just tap into, like you said, this year. Why some people are complaining, some people are enjoying. Believe me, this year, many people have progressed so much. They looked into their inner self, brought the best out of them. This is the year I started this event, this show. You know, a lot of people, you know, they brought the best out of it in every situation. Is either bring the best or the worst out of you. It depends on you. All right. Like you said, there are opportunity. Another thing I got from you is that as a Black race, let's come together. Yeah. Let there be unity. Let's begin to work together. Let's begin to collaborate. United we stand, divided we fall.
Absolutely.
All right. I invited you guys. You are here. You've added more to what I am doing. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So I just hope every other person will take opportunity out there and let's become one big family. And the Lord will help us all in Jesus' name. Thank you once more. I'm going to invite the next speaker to speak like I did earlier on. I just put you back and bring you back again, please, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Mr. Ayo Benson, Olarewaju. Thank you very much for waiting.
Okay.
He's a chartered accountant turned to entrepreneur. He's the author of the bestseller book, Gold Mine of Your Mind. He has business interests in e-commerce, media, publishing, and consulting. He's a master coach to a lot of celebrity and accomplished business leader. He inspires people to reach their full potentials. That's a good one. And today you're going to talk about culture and culture mindset, isn't it? You're welcome to MCB TV channel.
Culture and mindset. Thank you very much, Minister Caro. I think we've come a long way. I admire what you're doing from afar. Though we speak once in a while, I think we need to speak a bit more and find ways, like you're doing wonderfully well at the moment. How do we expand the influence of our culture in this environment? So you want me to talk about culture and mindset. Yes, you're right. I'm the author of the book, Gold Mine of Your Mind. I'll speak a bit about why write a book of that nature. Then in terms of culture, our culture, as excellent as our culture is, it has received a lot of battering from all angles, from all sources. And there is only one reason for that. And that reason is to attack our self-image. You know, when the colonial influence came into Africa, they knew that it would be difficult to control us if we knew we were on the same par with them. So the first thing they attacked was our culture. They describe our culture as primitive, yet some of the beautiful work of art taken from Africa are now in museums all over the world. Yet they wanted us to believe that our culture was primitive at the time. So what I want to talk to young people about culture is there is absolutely nothing wrong with our culture. Actually, the culture of respect for elders, the culture of family integration, the culture of helping one another. Let's keep this part of our culture. I remember growing up. You know, it's a personal story of mine, and it may actually inspire other people. I usually tell this story, you know, when I run my seminars, my webinars, because I don't want people to see me where I am and think that, oh, that is impossible for them to achieve. Actually, when I was growing up as a child, I lost my dad, and we fell into financial difficulty. And that culture, that community sense of helping one another, that was the reason why we got a lot of help at the time. And that was the reason I managed to get education. And that's the reason why I'm able to sit here today and talk to the younger generation about change, about mindset. As young as I was at the time, I was thinking to myself, why are these people helping us? You know, and most of them aren't even family. And I thought to myself, I said, if I manage to do well in life, I will help other people too. So that's part of our culture. I think that culture is diminishing by the day. I think we have responsibility to reactivate that part of our culture, which is about community. You know, there is an adage that, you know, a parent will have a child, but the whole village will raise the child. So that part of our culture, please, let's keep it. So I promised myself, if I do well in life, I'm going to help others too. And that's why I've written this book, Gold Mine of Your Mind, Your Fast Track to Abundance. And that was because of the realization that whatever we do in life, our mind plays a major role. After God, our mind plays a major role in anything that we do. Let me track back a little bit on culture. What you see on TV all over the Western world is not the true reflection of Africa. It isn't. You know, I lived in Africa. I had my education in Africa before coming to UK. I was actually, before coming to UK, I was already a qualified accountant. You know, but when I got here, they didn't recognize my qualification. And in annoyance, I started ACCA and I passed it in 18 months. So that is possible. That's possible for you if you're a young person, you're here, you're facing a difficult situation. Action will get you to the next level. Sitting around feeling sorry for yourself achieves nothing. So let me move a little bit to mindset. Mindset is powerful. And mindset is the way you see the things that you see. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, in both cases, you're right. So it depends on your mindset. And Andrew Carnegie also said, a man who has the ability to take possession of his own mind can take possession of anything else that he is justifiably entitled to. I love the man Andrew Carnegie because of, you know, his imprint on the surface of the earth remains even after 100 years after he died. He was taken as a boy to US by his parents, and at the age of 13, thereabout, and he rose to become the richest man in the world. But that's not the impressive story. The impressive story was he gave all the money away, about $500 million, more than 100 years ago. That was a lot of money. So he gave all the money away, and they opened one of his drawers and they found a note that said, I will spend half my life accumulating a lot of money. I will spend the remaining half giving it all away. You know, to write that at the age of 13 when he was, you know, still, you know, nobody, Mr. Nobody. And to fulfill that potential, to fulfill that goal in itself is inspiring. I picked on what Yetunde said earlier about beat your personal best. Beat your personal best. You're not in competition with anyone. Be in competition with your goals. Be in competition with your goals. Don't look at anybody else. Bill Gates said, comparing yourself to others is actually insulting yourself. Comparing yourself to others is actually insulting yourself. So I want to talk to our people about don't let anyone define who you are. Know who you are. Be happy with who you are, because there's no reason why you shouldn't be. The color of your skin is actually a plus. I look at myself in the mirror and I tell myself, wow, what a gift. What a gift to the world. You know, you've got to be your own therapist. You've got to be your own cheerleader. Don't wait for anyone to lift you up. Lift yourself up. Everything is down to your self-image. And that is the way you see yourself from the inside. My first encounter with self-image principle was this Dr. Mott. He was a surgeon, one of the best at the time. He performed that operation, that plastic surgery on women's face, and they will become stunningly beautiful. But what he noticed, a very clever man, was some people after the operation, their life will change. They will become more confident. They will become more outgoing. Their confidence will rise. But for some others, nothing has changed. Nothing about them. They remain timid. They remain, with low self-esteem. They remain reclusive. They still don't go out despite they have a stunningly beautiful face on the outside. But what hasn't changed is the inside, is the self-image inside. I'm gonna give you a gift. If you get this book, it's called Psycho-Cybernetics. Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. That's the name of the author. Okay, Carol, please let me know if my time is up so that I can round up. I will talk all day. How many minutes have I got left?
It's up. Just round up, please.
Okay.
We have to invite you again to talk in detail. Because there are other speakers waiting, and there are others that want to, go somewhere. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share. I'm grateful. I thought I had 20 minutes, so that's okay. Yeah, let's give other people the chance to talk. And thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you for the work you're doing in our community. I hope we can make a little difference to the lives of other people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benson. Mr. Benson, I mean, you talk so much about cultural mindset. This is very beautiful. You said cultural mindset is very important. In our culture, there are a lot of things that are embedded in it that are very good, like culture, like respect, like unity, like togetherness, like belongingness. We need that to bring that into today's society. You talked about, it takes a village to raise a child. That's a very good part of our culture. If you misbehave, a child misbehaves, what happens? It takes a whole village to correct and you set them on the right path. So it says it depends on your mindset. If you say you can, you can't. According to Henry Ford, it's your mindset that, I'm writing a book actually that mindset is everything. So another one I love, you said comparing yourself to others is actually an insult to yourself. Oh my God, that's my take home today. Comparing yourself to others is actually an insult to yourself because you are greater, you are better, so you don't compare yourself to others. You have got something different that nobody else has. It's for you to go into your inner self, search it, and and be the best God has created you to be. Then you said something, don't allow people to define you, be yourself, know who you are. Do not allow your color is a plus to you. Oh my God, this is just too much with all what we have heard earlier on. So I'm just going to bring others to just give us a final remark. Okay, thank you very much. I think Sanche, okay. Please, just a final remark, Yetunde, please, Pastor Yetunde. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. And I'm adding Minister Melissa Pamela on.
Okay, so my final remarks are that we've got to keep on with Black History Month. Chancellor Sanche mentioned there's a lot of Black professionals out there that are ready to help.
Yeah.
I think one of the challenges I work with young people is they don't know how to ask for help. And it's a big thing because they've got to, I don't know if it's a pride thing. I don't know if it's, I just want to do it myself. I know my son this year, I had to tell him, I said, you know, one of your problems is he wants to be a man before he's there.
Amen.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know, you've got to learn before you can fly. If you don't know how to fly, you know, if you don't go to school, you won't learn these things. So when, you know, after that conversation, I think one time he was going back to uni and I asked him a question. Normally he will say no. Normally he'll just say outright, no, mom, don't worry about it. And then he says, he turned around and he gave me the best answer he could ever give me. He says, my pride tells me I don't need your help. But common sense tells me to tell you that I do need your help.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a sign of growth. And for our young ones out there, I work with them all the time, and it's a consistent thing. I see it's a pattern. You see a graduate will come out and they'll be like, I know everything because we're taught it in university. I'm like, real life and what you learn in uni, different ball game. We've been there. I think Councillor Sanshia and I, we have the same history as we discovered last week. You know, we share the same history with work experience and stuff like that when we first started off our career. It didn't quite plan out the way we planned it out. We were graduates and I didn't have anybody to turn to and say, okay, how do I do it? I had to make it up as I went along. But they've got all these people around them now. They've just got to be, and then when you tell them something, they still want to do it their own way. They've got to get to that humble state of, okay, so somebody who's walked the path is telling me this is the way to do it. Just humble yourself and just do it until you become a high flyer yourself. You've got to still learn, and that's a message. And I'm sorry that my message is going out to the young people, but it is them. They are our future, and if they don't learn from the older ones that have been ahead, I'm just concerned or worried that there might be some message lost along the line.
Thank you very much, Pastor Yetunde. That's a beautiful one. Of course, our youth, they are our future. We have to involve them, like you said. And another thing I realized is what you are passionate about that comes out when you speak, and that's just it. So thank you very much. God bless you. Councillor Sanshia, your take-home message, please.
No, just for us for ourselves as Black people to be proud of the achievements. Obviously, as a granddaughter of the Windrush generation, I'm very proud that my grandfather and others came here, and despite all the hostilities that they faced, they still managed to do a lot of successful things. So let's be proud of what our ancestors have achieved. They've paved the way for us. Let's walk in that destiny and let's go forth and let's be as successful as we can. But let's also put pressure on those organizations, on those institutions to also look at the structural racism and dismantle those barriers that they put in our way so that we truly have that equality of opportunity to succeed. So yes, it's been a pleasure participating in this Black History Month session with you, Minister Carol, and may God bless you and prosper everything that you're doing.
Amen. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I just want to quickly ask you a question before you go. What kind of pressure do you think we can put on those people? Because we have to do our own bit as well. Can you please explain that?
Yeah, I think organizations have a responsibility to come up with you know, it's the policies, procedures, and processes that they put in place. So, you know, they should have an equality and diversity policy. They should have an equality and diversity strategy, which will outline the things that they are, the steps that they are taking to dismantle those barriers. As I said before, a lot of executive boards don't have any Black people on that. And that's not for want of us as a Black people trying. So they have to look within themselves to say, what barriers have they put up? Do they have any conscious or unconscious bias or stereotypes that have led them to not appointing us to those roles? So yes, we have to keep pushing as people, we have to keep striving, but organizations and corporations have their part to play because they are the ones in the positions of power and they have to take the responsibility to get serious about this diversity agenda and move the dial forward.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Thank you. Now, Mr. Sorry, I've got Pastor here. So, Mr. Ayobensi, your take home, please, Ms. Remark.
Yeah, you know, some people ask me, "Are you a pastor?" I say, "I'm trying. If God calls me, I will obey." Great. You know, like I said earlier, it's a pleasure, Minister Parole, to have invited me to join these distinguished people to share ideas on how to make our community better. I learned a lot from all the speakers, and it's really very important that we make ourselves role models for the younger generation. And I see people here today; they are excellent role models for our younger people to emulate and try and, you know, if not surpass them, at least be equal to what they've achieved already. So my final close is please don't let anyone define you. Be the best that you can be. And like Yetunde said, Pastor Yetunde said, beat your personal best. That's your goal all the time. Don't look at other people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys. This is awesome. Oh my God, this has made my year.
Well done to you. Well done. Yes.
This has made my year. You said, beat your personal best. Beat your personal best. Know who you are. And you know, I wrote a book on who are you. I think I have to start working on that book now. Start, you know. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I'm just going to introduce Melissa Pamela Davies. She's going to talk to us about mental health. You know, Black people and mental health. We are not accepting it. She's a minister of the gospel. So I'm going to, like, as usual, I'll take you out and bring you back again. So let me focus on her, please, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Hello, Melissa. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I actually struggled to come on I've been for over half an hour. I don't know what was happening with the thing, but never mind, I'm here now.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to talk to us about mental health and culture and Black people.
Well, actually, what I wanted to talk about is unfortunate that I you know, I've missed what the other speakers discussed about today. But I think I picked up one thing that I think is it Pastor Yetunde? Yes, mentioned about young people. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm always in my talk and advocacy, I'm always addressing the adults. You know, are we as Black people, we need to optimize our mental health. We need to know what is going on. We need to know, you know, what mental health is, what good mental health, what negative mental health is, how to seek support, when to speak up and how to speak up. We're always talking about this, but today I actually want to focus on the young people. I don't know why it just came to me this morning, and I thought, you know what, these are our future. You know, they're our generation, not even of tomorrow, they're a generation of today, because they are the starting point. They're the ones that we got to leave the legacy. So I really wanted to focus more on them and how, as parents, and I hope that parents are listening today, you know, how as parents, then we can observe our children, what is going on in their lives, if there are any issues regarding to the disability, mental health, how we can then optimize it, get help and get support. Because Pastor Aya was talking about be the best that you can and be yourself. But our children, they cannot be the best if we don't, as parents, start giving them the best, because it has to come from the home. You see, we talk about the schools, we talk about the system. As much as it's important to collaborate with school and system, but we as parents, we are the starting point. Because when they're asking, they say, whose child is that? They're not saying that it's the government's child. They say it's a child of so person. Even children who are in foster homes or what have you, they in hostel grew up, they're still saying they are the child of such and such parent, you
All right.
see. So
Thank
that
you.
is very, very important. So, I mean, as we know, especially in this COVID, we would know the research shows that mental health problems have skyrocketed. I think we've got, not even I think, it's about over 500,000 people added to the existing list of people with mental health who are going to be affected in this COVID period. So as adults, we have seen, well, some of the things that we're seeing now, pandemic and whatever, some of us have not, some of us have not even, what should I put it, experience it in life, let alone these young people. But because we are adults, we will be able, at least through the grace of God, through prayers, through intervention, to find a way to cope. But what about these young people who have then, been at home, not going to school, being locked home with their parents? Some parents are abusers, and I'm not accusing anybody, but it's a fact. Some parents are abusers, some parents don't know, don't have the nurturing maternal ability, to look after their children. They neglect their children. And so these people are then forced, these children are forced to be locked at home with these families. So imagine what would happen to their mental health. So let me focus a little bit. Now, research is showing that 1 in 4 people, adults or children, are going to experience mental health problem in life. Now, when it comes to young people, about 52.7 will attempt suicide. Okay? And so we as Black people, our children, are the future that we need to invest in, and we need to nurture them so that they will be able to become progressive and productive members of society, so they can contribute effectively to society. It's not good to say, oh, look at that Black child there, with mental health problem in hospital or whatever, because we have not started the groundwork. Now, what we have seen is that there are a high number, overpopulated number of Black ethnic minority young boys who are sectioned under the Mental Health Act. And, because it's an area I'm passionate about. And when I see these young boys, boys who talented, creative, all this is wasted, because once they get into the system, I tell you, audience, it's very, very difficult to come out of it. And you will find that, especially those with intellectual disability, on one thing or the other, they would unfortunately stay in the system for the rest of their lives. And that is a waste. So we as Black people, as parents, we need to begin to take stands. We need to begin to pay attention to our children's mental health and their well-being. For years, parents are focusing on themselves. We work 5 jobs, 3 jobs, because we want to build a house in Africa, or we want to purchase 2 or 3 houses in UK. That's fine. I mean, it's great to be ambitious, because I'm super ambitious like everybody else. But if you're saying that if you put in ambition ahead of your children's well-being, neglecting the children while you work 24 hours round the clock, you don't know what's going on. And so what we see is, start with, how does this affect our children? Bullying. So they start getting bullied at school. And because we are there 24 hours working, they're not able to talk to us. And because they're not able to talk to us, then they regress into that emotional state, where their emotion begin to be affected. They don't want to talk to nobody. They begin to withdraw. They're not cooperating in school, with the teachers. And before you know it, they are stereotyped. Okay? And some of them end up going into drugs. And illicit drugs is one of the biggest problems that land our young Black ethnic minority boys, young men and boys, in mental health hospital and in prison. The prison population is full of Black people. There are men. I've seen somebody who was arrested for something so minor, was in what you call it, Broadmoor, where murderers, killers, you know, are held up. They put this man there, and from there, from Broadmoor, there was section to the mental health hospital, mental health act in mental hospital. He's been there 25 years of his adult life. Now tell me, this man is now so scared to be discharged into the community because there's no, he doesn't see any value, any future. He's lost so much. I mean, things have changed in 25 years. What is he going to do? Family has grown, they've expanded. What contribution is he going to make into society, to his family? So for somebody like that, the best place for him, in his mind, he feels that it's best for him to stay there. So each time the discharge is coming up, is coming close, this person sabotages the discharge, and then he spends more time, you know, on the section. He's spend more time being held up there, because why? He's saying that he doesn't feel that he's a human being. We got to let our young people know that they're a human being. We got to let them know they're value members of society. So these are the things we got to work out. We got to look out for. Look out for bullying. Look out for when your child is getting to puberty, because that is a very, very significant part of their lives. Puberty, young adult, is so significant, because when they're going through hormonal changes and whatnot, it affects them mentally, emotionally, physically. It affects them so much because they don't know what's going on with their body and their mind. And a lot of them, that's why you see a high rate of suicide among the young people. Some of them not able to talk about it. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to articulate it. Just think about it. When a woman is going through menopause, just think about it. How do we feel as women when you're going through menopause, if you have experienced menopause? You know? So, viewers, let's think about this. Stress at home, stress in school, you know, during exam period, neglect again, you know, leading of most of these boys going into gang because they're looking for validation. If parents cannot validate them, they're not getting it at home. That emotional love, that bonding, you know, that time to say, you know what, you are worth something. I love you. Let's just say to our children every day, I love you. Even though saying every, say to your child, I love you. When you go to pray at night or pray with them, tell them you love them. Let them feel valued. So a lot of these children, they are looking for validation. They're not getting it at home, so they're easily recruited into the gang. And obviously, it starts from there. So it destroys, once they're arrested and put in prison, it destroys their confidence, it destroys their social well-being, it destroys their standing in society. And these people end up, a lot of them, they think that they're better off being sectioned than staying in prison. But when they go into mental health hospital, they section, they realize, no, it is not. Because they hardly come out. So let's think about that. Let's reflect on that. You know, there are children who have what you call intellectual disability. So what is intellectual disability? Is when a child is growing the ability to think, to reason, you know, logically, everyday things, to know how to do everyday things. Academically, you know, the thought processes. When these are affected, obviously it stunts their growth intellectually. And so they're not able to perform well in school. So because they're not able to perform well in school, you have a lot of teachers who end up stereotyping these children as bad boys. Because why? You know, they can't sit still. You know, their brain is not assimilating what the teacher, what is there on the board, what is telling them. They can't even understand it. So they play around, they fop around, they do this, they do that. And then before you know it, you know, they're stereotyped as bad boys, as this and that, you know, and they get excluded. So please, if we're watching this, or those who are watching later, be mindful. Because once they get excluded, it's the beginning of a huge problem for them. So let's be mindful of that. I'm very, very, like I said, passionate. I just wanted to talk about our young people today. You know, how they function in life, how we can help them. If they're not functioning intellectually, what support can you put in place? You know, you can get private tuition. You know, if you can't afford it, you can go to the school, liaise with the school, you know, so, because they have extra support. Liaise with your GP, you know, if they can do some assessments, you know, diagnosis, see what is going on. Is this child suffering from ADHD? Is that why this child cannot keep still? What is this child attention span? Is it so short? Is it like 2 minutes? Is it 1 minute that this child cannot focus for 10 minutes of teaching? They can just sit still for 10 minutes of pure listening. No, because why? After 2 minutes, they switched off. After 3 minutes, they switched off. They want to do something else. But the school is not equipped to know that, okay, if this child switched off, what do we put in place then? How do we get this child engaged? Parents are not equipped to know why the child is running around the house, why the child cannot stay in the house, why the child is always out. They don't understand that, because we're not equipped with the knowledge. And so this is the time that we need to equip with this knowledge. You know, faith without works is dead. I am a minister of God and I advocate prayer, I advocate church, but saint, listen, I am also advocating putting the works into it. It's no point in you spending 24 hours in the church, you know, and premises, and leaving your child at home and that child is going to rot. What you got to answer to God, because a child is a ministry. And just like marriage is a ministry, just as your career that God has called you into is a ministry, just as the ministerial work, you know, the gospel that God has called you to is a ministry, all of these are ministry and needs to be taken seriously. So let us support our children so that they become productive and contributing members of society in the future. If you know that, okay, your child is experiencing intellectual disability, you know, they're not adapting, you know, their daily activity of living skills, you know, they're not able to do those simple tasks. That means intellectually something is not right. They're not able to comprehend how to do it. Some children are not even they don't even know how to tie their shoelace. Not because they don't want to do it, you know, but because they don't have the motor skills, you know, that be able to hold the lace and what's not, and then the cognitive ability to say, well, you tie the lace like this, then you put it like this, you do it not. No, they can't do that. Not because they don't want to do it, but we can get help. You can get support. There's help, there's support in place. And that's very important. So that, again, I just want to very quickly just mention, they're very different stages. They're mild, moderate, severe, and profound. So, but before our children to go on and become productive members of society, be the best, grow out to be young people who will make a name for God in the society, for themselves, and make their family proud. In fact, make themselves proud, first of all. We got to identify if there are any issues, you know, going on. We got to be mindful of their mental well-being. We got to very, very guard, you know, our children's mental state. It's very important. Just as it's important for us as adults and Black people in society to guard our mental state, so that we don't become, you know, the statistics, so that we don't get stigmatized, stereotyped, and eventually, you know, lost our place in life and in society. God wants you and I to be the best, and the best version of ourselves we can only be the best version of ourselves if we key into these things. Pray, work, have a balanced life, but most importantly, develop a positive mental well-being for yourself and for your children. So I just thought I'd throw that in. I hope, you know, I've not confused anybody.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Oh my God, there is so much information here. I can see your passion about young people and mental health. Oh my God, you know what? I'm going to invite you to my TV show. Honestly, because I have passion for young people as well. I have a degree in psychology in child and adolescent, and I'm not using it. It is time for me to start using it now.
Yes,
Thank you very much. And another thing, I want to connect you to Pastor Yetunde. She's passionate about children as well. I'll just ask her to come and speak before I invite. In fact, my niece is here. She's just going to say something as well. You see, everything worked together for good. I never planned this, but it's working out very well. So thank you very much. First of all, let me quickly bring Yetunde on to just say hello to you. Hello,
Hello. Hello. Is it Pastor, Minister?
Minister Pamela.
Call me Pamela, Melissa, doesn't matter, sis. Call me sis.
I mean, amazing things you've said about young people there, and it's definitely what I try to drive home with the parents, because we need to get it. And if we don't get it, then we can't help our children. And in all fairness, some of the problems that our children have is down to us as parents. I think when we were growing up, we were always shunned. Just get on with it. Just do this. Just do that. And you were saying that sometimes, because they can't achieve, it's like they're not valued at anything, and stuff like that. I remember when my daughter, it reminds me of a story when my daughter got her GCSE results, and all the way up to GCSE, they were gearing her up, A's, B's, and she wasn't even predicted any B's. But when the grades came out, she got A's, she got 1 B and 1 C, and she broke down in tears. I was like, my God. So when she came downstairs, she said, oh, she was crying and everything, and I thought, oh my God, I'm expecting the worst results. She's failed everything. Then when she showed me the result, I said, this is not bad. This is very good. She said, oh, nobody would do this. Nobody would do that, blah, blah, blah. And she was so disappointed. But I remember hugging her, speaking to her, well done, and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, but you're going to have to go and tell your dad. She said, oh, I don't want to tell. Because all along, Dad thought it was going to be straight A's, like every parent, Nigerian parent wants. And then Dad turns around and says, oh, see you in maths. So I called her quickly. Come, don't worry about what your dad is saying. Before she starts getting, because it can have an emotional thing on them. And the reason, is we have a child that went to his school, got his, I don't know if you know about this case, Pamela, but got his results from school, got home and committed suicide because he couldn't face his parents to tell them the grades he got.
Yeah.
And committed suicide. And this is the thing that we do. We ram it in their heads. If you don't get straight A's, then don't think about doing this. And most of us are saying it out of how should I say, just a matter of figure of speech, or maybe we got it. That's the way our parents spoke to us.
Exactly. It's culture. Culture was coming to
cultural. Culture of our culture in the UK. It doesn't work that way. It's like, hey, no matter what, whatever your grade is, let's deal with it. If you have to go and receipt, go and receipt. As I with the thing, you can't even receipt. You understand what I'm saying? But if that's what you want to do, it's really not a big deal. Absolutely. And then later on, she found her friends that had done much better than her in primary school, repeating the year.
Look at that.
So you see, and you carried on into uni because your grades, they're not, but this is for her to just break down in emotional stuff. And I'm like, oh, you even got A's. It is well. So some people begging for at least 1 A, and you got A's. So what is the tears about? She's like, and then she started saying all the subjects. How can they give me a B in whatever? Oh no, this one should have been a B. And I'm like, you're crying over B and A. When some people are crying over, you understand what I'm saying? But I spoke to her. With her A levels, I knew I had to be there because she would just have. And what happened was she got the grades, but what happened was she couldn't get her grades. But she just got the university stuff. And when your first university doesn't take you, they don't take you because of your grades are lower than what they asked for. So if they had asked for 3 A's and you got 2 A's and 1 B, they will reject you automatically. It's just a system thing. My daughter, she said, oh my God, I failed my A levels. She had cried her eyes out for 1 hour. I said, will you now call your school and find out what you actually got? So she got her grades. I said, it's not bad. Let's start calling the university and see what happened. And all they said was, it's just an automatic thing that if we asked you for 3 A's and you got 2 A's and 1 B, another child would have committed suicide because parents would have started screaming and shouting their heads off. You know, you understand what I'm saying? All these things about grades is not the end of the world. There are people that didn't make grades and made it very well in life. Richard Branson is there. John Major was UK Prime Minister. He left school at the age of 16 for crying out loud. You understand? So you're thinking there's so many things. Is even if your child is not academic, what is it that they are good at, and just push them in that. If they're going to be a musician, push them to be a very good one. If they're going to be an artist, push them to be a very good one. If they're going to do business, push them to do business. All this great business, we have to. One of the things as adults we have to really stop doing, and then we speak negatively to our children as well, which is another thing that Pamela has mentioned. We should stop doing all of that. It's not good. It's not healthy for the mind. I must confess, sometimes I look at my children, I'm thinking, really, you know, when I should really say something encouraging, but you know, sometimes the encouragements, you get tired of encouragement. You're just like, all the encouragement I'm giving you, the way you're doing that, I think you're actually, you know, so it's just
okay. Thank you very much. I think I have to invite both of you.
Yeah.
I think I have to come back. Hello.
Yes. Misa, what I was going to say, thank you, Yetunde. I mean, just very quickly, you know, is finding that balance in communication. And for us as African parents, a lot of us have lost it. You know, because we don't understand what good communication is. Because what we don't know, that most of us never. Sorry, I don't know if there's a back. Josh. Sorry, I've got my young son here. He's the one that really gets me going, and you know, you saw him. He was diagnosed with autism some, you know, a few years ago. So you know, I mean, he's my rock. I love him so much. But what we're saying is that it's the communication, especially when the parents have a child with autism or learning disabilities, the communication and the support that we give those children. That is what's important, that we're not segregating, because we as African parents, we're so good at segregating our children from the high achievers and the low achievers. We're so good at that. And then the low achievers are the ones that end up with good mental health issues. And sometimes the low achievers strive, and then the high achievers who will put on the pedestal are the ones that end up with mental health issues, because the expectation that we have for them had fallen short. So really, please, let's have that balance. Let's learn how to communicate with our children. Let's learn what the language of our children, you know, and speak those language is important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to invite both of you on this topic again, please, and in the very near future, because we need such communication. And another thing I just want to add to it is that, you know, most of us parents, we can't give what you don't have. It's our upbringing. It's, you know, everything we have in our subconscious mind is the way we were treated as children. You know, then we grow up, it's okay, this is norm. Although we are outside our culture, we still act that culture out. So I think this is something similar to what Ayo Benson said earlier on. Take the good one and leave the bad one. If you are in Rome, try and behave like the Romans. You know, we have to try to encourage our children, no matter what they are, their ability, just encourage them to be the best. I think that's what it's all about. We need to bond with our children, because we are all working, like you said, you know, like lone parents, single parents, we have to work, we have to pay bills. You know, usually we just get carried away with the moment. So we should learn to balance the whole thing, like Melissa said. The Lord will help us all.
Amen.
Thank you very much once again. I'm just going to invite my little niece from Germany. Her name is Precious. I'll bring you guys back. We'll just have a roundup later. I'm just doing it quick. Please bear with me. I'm just going to bring my niece. Her name is Precious Olushola from Germany. She's just going to tell us about Nigeria, our land, our food, our culture. And she's a young girl. I am so proud. You see, she got it from me. She got it from me. So I'm just going to introduce her. Hello, Precious.
Hello.
Yeah, that's my little niece. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
What do you want to tell us?
I want to talk about Nigeria, my homeland, the culture, the people, the language, and the food.
Okay, go on. Thank you.
Nigeria, my homeland. I'm talking about the culture, the land, the people, the food, and the language. The land, Nigeria is in West Africa, and they have very many people. The Hauptstadt is Abuja. We pay in Naira, and the longest flight is Benue, 1,400 kilometers. The people, 2020, the people are etwa 195 Millionen Leute. They have a große Bevölkerung, very many young people and eine große Vielfalt. We have friendly people and they're all familiar. The food for snack and mostly for breakfast is Morroin. It's a Pastete aus braunen Bohnen, meat pies, puff puff, gari, fried rice, jollof rice, and rice and stew, semo, fufu, amala, and eba. The language, we have like 514 verschiedene language. The most spoken language is English, Yoruba, and Edo in Southwest Africa, Hausa and Fulani in northern, Igbo and Ibibio in Südosten, Southeast, and Kanuri in Northwest. Yes. I'm finished.
Oh, thank you very much, darling. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Some of the things I don't even know about Nigeria. I'm so old and yet I don't know them. How many languages do you say they speak? Over 500 and something?
514.
Wow, I am so proud of you. Thank you, Precious. You've just added more color to what we are doing. We know actually celebrating Black History Month. Are you proud to be Black?
Yes.
I know you live in Germany.
Yes.
Okay, and I can hear you speaking German language and English, mixing it together a little bit.
Yes.
You are getting confused?
Yes, I was confused because I don't know Deutsch.
You speak
feel
more
like
Dutch
I'm
than English.
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about your school?
My school is very big. There are more white people than Black people, but we're all treating the same. The religion is they have, for people that are not doing religion, they have other lesson. It's called ethic. They're talking about the day and what happened in school and so. And they have also Muslims religion school lessons, and yeah.
And how do you feel being among the white people, being few among the white? How do you feel?
I don't feel bad, but it's okay. It's not bad, and I have also Black peoples in my school, so I'm not the only person.
Okay. What would you tell somebody out there that is feeling out of place because of their color? Do you know what people who are not happy, people who are complaining because they are Black among the whites? What can you tell them there?
I could tell them that they should be strong, and if some people don't like them, that they should don't bother, and they should pray to God that everything will be all right for them.
Thank you very much, Precious. I really, I love you. You know I love you. You're my baby. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll invite you to my program again next time. Say hello to mom and dad.
Okay.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.
Hello, sis. You're welcome back. Do you have a final remark, please? You've talked so much. You've talked so much about child and mental health. I mean, the way you took it was just extraordinarily. And we need to hear about this in the Black community. Many children are committing suicide and, having mental health issues. We need to talk about it. We need to bring awareness into our society, especially Black children. Some of them that join a gang. You said so much about it, because some of them want to become the provider in the house. Because the parents are not there for them. They just want be the boss. Yeah. And it's natural for a young guy to say, okay, if my mother is struggling, my parents are struggling, I want to help them. And another thing I realize is that we parents should try and be the role model, the first role model of our children. When they watch you, they see you, what you do, what you act. There are some times when I tell my daughter, Mommy, you just did that. Okay. So we have to try and be a good example. If we want them to be educated, you too, you have to, be up here, invest in yourself, try and change and improve in what you are doing. You can't just lay back and say, do as I do as I say, not as I do. Gone are those days. Children these days, they want to see you. They want to, we are the first role model. We are the mentor or the first mentor in their life. So we need to be closer. We need to, have that bond and the attachments, we need to be more attached to each other. I know all this, we have to, but God help us. We know, and sometimes we don't do it. So I think with this awareness and talking every time, we'll be able to change. Are you ready?
Yeah. So yeah. You've said it all, Mr. Carol. The most important thing here, is us being the people from, our home, and from the home that our children will look up to. If a child, I remember when I was growing up and they said, who's your role model? Oh, bless my mom, she passed how many years ago. And I'd always said it was my mother. I never had a celebrity name, in my mouth to say, this person was because, it has to come from home. So we as parents, we have to start the ball rolling. When children are looking up to us, what we say to them, if we say one thing and then we're doing something different, it sends a mixed message. So we can't be contrary to the message. If I'm saying now to my girls, you know what? Keep yourself for Christ. Keep your body for Christ. Don't mess yourself out there. And then God forbid they see me bringing, boyfriend after boyfriend. Come on, what message is that gonna send? Obviously, you shoot yourself in the foot if you're giving them contrary message. But most importantly, sis, I'm talking of what is affecting our children today in this, because there's so much pressure, there's so much expectation, that these children have to produce things in society, they have to perform, and so that is contributing to emotional disorder, is contributing to depression, is contributing to psychosis. It's so many things going on, and we as parents, because we are not available for them to discuss, to have that discussion, to have the one-to-one with them, you know what? It gets worse. Children end up killing themselves. Children end up going out there to find some young girls, then end up going out, finding an old man or boyfriend to escape. It's like an escapism. They look at all this negative behavior and they think it's something positive. They attribute it to positiveness because they want to escape. So we have to be mindful of that. Let us dedicate our children to God, pray, but at the same time, we should not allow culture really to dictate 100% how we bring our children in this present day and in this society. We will be doing ourselves this favor and we'll be doing our children this favor. Again, like I said, I have the balance. We have to teach them respect. That is number one. But all of these things that we went through as young people, you know, that transference of, you know, we're transferring some of those attitude and behavior to our children, because some of us were so damaged by the upbringing, you know, and by some negative experiences, that we don't really know how to love our children, and that is really sad. So these are a generation, they are the Black men and women of today, not even tomorrow. They are of today, because when we say tomorrow, we begin to neglect. Okay, we're waiting for tomorrow. No, they are the men and women of today. So let us empower them the best way that we can. Love them, empower them, communicate with them, seek support. Even you as a parent, if things are not all right with you, seek help, seek support, speak up. That is what we are here to tell each and every one of us. So please, I hope that this take-home message today has blessed somebody, and you can talk to Minister. Minister can connect either one of us to, you know, if you want to connect with us for support or whatever. Minister is there. She will connect with us. She will give you our details. I'm open book. You know, you can give anybody my details that ask for it, because we're here to support and pull and lift up one another. And so that is, I'm saying, please look at all the Black men and women who are successful in society. They did not get there because they, you know, they were just sitting back. They get there with hard work, you know, and we need to drum that into them, but at the same time, do it lovingly and balance. If they fail, it doesn't matter. We pick them up, we hug them still the same, and we tell them still the same that is okay. You know, it's okay not to be okay. And that's important. We always tell them that. Don't put pressure on them that they have to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, and what's not, because they all can do the same career. Otherwise, we won't have other people doing other things. So as Pastor Yetunde said, whatever role or talent they're good at or good in, just, you know, nourish it, you know, nurture it, you know, and let's nurture our children. God will bless you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come on. Finally, we made it.
We made it. Thank you very much.
I was almost going to leave. I said, no, I've got appointment, and I've been trying for over half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm thinking, what's going on? But thank God. God wanted this message to get out there today. So thank you, man.
But thank you very much. It was a short time, but you made it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. You've given us so much information on about how this thing turned out to be. Glory be to God. It is very, very, very informative. There is so much information here that we need to go back home and begin to use. The first speaker came. Oh my God, the second speaker, the third speaker, the fourth speaker, and then my niece crowned it all. Can you imagine? So it's good for us to celebrate who we are. Celebrate yourself, celebrate your culture, and, you know, be the best God has created you to be. If we listen to every speaker, it almost boils down to the same thing. You know, don't force your children. We're going to talk about mental health and children later. We should try and be bonded with our children. You know, teach them our culture. Be kind to them. Be kind to yourself as well. Don't just do as I say, not as I do. Okay, because we are the first role model. We are the first example they see. So be the example you want them to be. There's something Melissa just said just now. Oh my God, what did I? It's okay not to be okay. That's a very good one. It's okay not to be okay as a mother, as a parent, as a children. Don't over pressurize your children that they have to be this, they have to be that. No, encourage, watch them, see what they are good at, encourage them to be the best in their field, whatever it is. You know, the Bible said, a man's gift will make a way for them. It's their gifting. It's not what you give to them. It's what God has given to them. What God has planned them. He said the plan of God for our life is of good, not of evil, to bring us to an expected end. So what God wants them to be is what they will be. Just encourage them. And, you know, and if there's any child out there that has less ability, just encourage them with love. Bring them up. It does not matter. It does not matter. Believe me, when you try and talk to them, then they will be the best in their own field. So I think we're going to end here. It's all about Black History Month. It's about our culture. It's about our achievements as Black people in the community. It's about, our contributions. What is it that you are contributing at this very moment? How can you contribute? We have to be disciplined. We have to be committed. Whatever you want to do, just take the bull by its horn and march on with it. This program, I decided it in the lastmay.com. Some people were trying to discourage me. Oh, it's a bit too late. I said, no, it's not too late. Whatever we can do, we'll do. And look at it, how it turns out to be. So I want you to learn from this. Whatever it is that you want to do, just go for it. Honestly, go for it. It doesn't matter if you fail. Being failing does not mean you are a failure. It's not trying at all that makes you to be a failure. All right? Just try and try and try and try. Keep trying. It doesn't matter. Don't tell me you're not good enough, or you're not this, or I can't speak English. I can't. No. Ask and keep asking. I'm always asking. I ask people, what can I do? How can I go about it? And that's what it's all about. So being Black and beautiful, it's phenomenal. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your culture. Be proud of your color. Don't let people, discourage you. Don't let people give you that low, for you to develop low self-esteem. Oh, because I'm Black, that's like, no. You can do much more with your color. Invest in yourself. Do more. There are a lot of professional Black people, business Black people. Try and collaborate. Throw that your pride away. Most of us we're so prideful. We have this pride. Oh no, I can't ask. Oh, what would they say? Really? Ask. The Bible says, ask. If you ask, you shall receive. Ask people questions, and then most of all, take care of yourself, your mental health, your well-being. It's very, very important. It's when you are sane, then you are able to take care of others. Yeah, you're able to do more things. I'm just going to invite Melissa again, to just give us a little, just a minute take home about our well-being, our mental health, because it's very, very important. As women, children are, they're going through depression, stress because of what is going on. One thing I'm saying to you, hold on. Just know that you are almost, nearer to your, destination than where you're coming from. This one too shall pass through. For COVID not to have, taken you, you've got a purpose to fulfill. Okay, worry not. Things will begin to work together. Only be steadfast. First, be focused in what you want to do, and that will take you to the other side. Thank you very much.
So can you hear me? Is that because my son is in the background? Can you hear me? Is it noisy? Is it okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So what I want to say, as adults, it's important for us to maximize, our potentials, but not to do it at the detriment of our mental health. There are a lot of people, as I said, that want to have the 5 houses, they want to build a mansion in Africa. It's good. But please, if it means that you're going to work 24 hours round the clock and you're neglecting your physical health, and it's going to cause you, you're neglecting your mental health. It's going to make you depressed. It's going to make you stressed. It's going to make you neglect your children. Please think about that. Is it important? Because vanity, the Bible says, vanity, all of this is vanity. Because all of these things that we strive towards, the material things, in the end, nobody is taking it with them. It's good, again, like I said, to achieve and to be ambitious. Let us do it with a balanced mental well-being and a balanced mood. So as an adult, what do you look out for? Especially in this COVID-19 period, when a lot of people, are going to be losing their jobs. A lot of people are losing their marriage. A lot of, children are failing in their exams. A lot of children, again, we talk about their mental health that has been affected because they have not been able to apply themselves, go out, do other things, the things that they used to do. They've been engaged in social media. And social media is, again, one negative. It's a good tool, but it's, again, another negative tool that actually destroy the lives and the well-being of our children. So please, just you as an adult, how much time do you spend with yourself? How do you isolate, self-isolation? if you're feeling overwhelmed with a lot of things that's going on, marriage, children, or whatever, it's important to take a break. You don't have to continue, in that same overwhelming situation that is going to contribute to your poor mental health. It's okay to take a break. Now, Mr. Kawa, let me just make a quick definition. When we say mental health, just a few minutes, man. Everyone has mental health. But what it is that when there's an event or something that happened negatively or tragedy that triggers, that negative emotion in us, it triggers our well-being, the negative emotion. It contributes to people being stressed. They're not able to handle the situation. They don't want to get help, or maybe they've neglected to get help. So therefore, what it is now, from stress to clinical depression, and most of the thing, then they end up taking drugs, illicit drugs, instead of getting pharmacological intervention, and also that will contribute to destroying the brain. So let's look at all of this thing. So if you're stressed, you are depressed, you're not able to, how do you know you're stressed? If you're withdrawing from society, you're withdrawing from your people, your communication is slow, you're not able to talk as you used to talk, you're not able to self-care, you're not looking after yourself, your environment is filthy, you don't want to get out of bed, you've been on it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, a month, 2 months. That is saying to you, is screaming, please get help, because you're going down that path. The person is going that path of clinical depression. So please get help. So because the mind is so confused, there's so much that your thoughts, your processes, your logical thinking is all impaired at that moment. And so the person is not able to think well. They're not able to think logically, and it impairs them from moving on in society and become a productive member of their family, being an effective mother, effective wife, effective whatever. So please, men, look after these things. Now, how do you know where to get help? When you see all the signs, it's important to get help. Listen, one of the things that really that prevents our people from getting help, or that prevents our people from coming forward, that has increased the rate of mental health disorder in our community, is stigma. Because Black people will say, look at that one, that sister is mad, isn't it? That brother is mad, that wife is mad, and what's not. They're in the church, they're looking at you funnily, because you used to come in nicely, dressing nicely, and now you're coming in a way that does not look nice, it does not look fit with the crowd, and nobody will say to you, please, what is going on? We observe that you are changing, things are happening. You never used to be like this. Let's reach out as Black people, instead of judging, instead of looking at somebody with the corner eye and laughing and judging, please. Because you don't know at that point what that person might be going through. Their marriage might be failing. Their children might be in gang. Or something might be going on. They might lack money. They might be at the point of possessing their home. They don't know where to get help. Seek help, seek support. Talk to your GP. And it's at this moment that people, I can tell you this, are allowed to break confidentiality. If you think somebody is in danger to themselves and others, you are allowed to phone the GP or a helpline, either the Samaritan helpline or the Mental Health Foundation, and you are allowed to say, please, somebody here is in danger, and we need help for this person. At that point, the police have order to then intervene. So what can you do? You can have therapy, therapeutical intervention, psychological intervention. Minister, you did psychology, and I think it's time now, you progress that into become a body psychologist, because what you do here is, is really what you're doing, counseling, you're counseling people, go for counsel, seek counsel is important, you can have godly counsel. There's so many Christian counselors out there now, that they used to, that more than they used to be. Go for counseling, accept pharmacological intervention. Most people say, God forbid, I can't take medication or this, that. Listen, take it at the same time whilst you are praying, whilst you're trusting God for things to settle and for your mental state to be optimized. Please take that which they prescribe that will help you.
Minister, so I'm going to invite you again. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine, ma. That's fine. Thank you.
You know what? We're going to talk about mental health and church, or mental health and Black culture. I'm going to invite you very soon on that. Because there's so much information, there's so much awareness that we need to, to begin to give to our people. All right. I am so happy. Thank you. Thank you again. I just want to say thank you to our viewers out there. Some people have been with us since we started for almost 2 hours now. You know, I really appreciate you guys, those of you viewers watching me out there, and those that will watch later. Thank you very much. I appreciate your encouragement. Thank you. So we have to, you know, go from now. Thank you, Pamela. God bless you.
God bless you too, ma. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye viewers. I'll see you later again. You know, I have another event coming at about 7:30 p.m. Please join, share. That one is going to be an, oh my God, I don't want to leak out this thing, what's going to be about, but I want you to join later and share. Please like my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thank you very much. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Bye.